Ta-da! Peace. Well, good morning. It's Thirsty Thursday. Hope you got your beverage of your choice, preferably coffee, because it's morning. Don't be drinking cocktails early in the morning. I wonder why they do that. Why you're not supposed to drink in the morning. Oh, sorry. My monitor was going off there. I'm going to go get Bo. Maybe he can tell me why you're not supposed to drink in the morning. It just occurred to me. It's just a clock, right? Where is he? You hear the question?
I heard the question. It was being pumped through the PA system in the old green room.
The virtual PA system.
Yeah, and so it interrupted my coffee, my espresso, with the question. It's a terrible idea. It's a bad idea to start your day that way.
Whether you're I suppose because it screws up your whole day. You don't get a chance to. It could derail your whole.
It can make for a really, really long day if you haven't built in a power nap. You know what I mean?
Well, the alcohol changes your makes you. I haven't drank for so long. I forgot what the terminology is. The cops used to tell me.
Yeah. They gave quality advice, I'm sure. How you been? What's been going on?
I've been a good boy. It's cold out. Is it cold over there on the west side?
It is. It is. I believe I hit 9 below on the vehicle on my way to drop my daughter off this morning. Yesterday was only like -2, but feels like yesterday morning was worse than today. So I guess it's an improvement. I don't know. It's still cold.
To me, cold is cold. If I can't go out there in shorts and flip-flops,
Yeah, I'm with you.
Today we're going to talk about this. Boom, boom, boom.
Chronological, financial, geographical freedom. I can't wait to be inspired and edutained today by you. Edutained.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody's looking for this freedom thing. Who was it? Janis Joplin, I think, said, freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose.
Yeah. That's a solid line.
Yeah, right? Kind of makes sense. But I think I think a lot of people want time freedom. The typical job thing. Sometimes you got to get away and you want to maybe go with the kids and, take them to the mall or something, but you can't because you got to work.
Yeah.
So people want that time freedom, but there's the geological freedom, the freedom to, that's a big one for me. If we're going to drive someplace, I like to drive.
Yeah.
If I want to leave early, I want to go. And if I want to go, maybe I don't want to go home. Maybe I want to go someplace else.
Yeah.
I got that freedom thing.
You like the access to be able to go when you want on your time. Yep.
And the financial freedom, it's always nice to be able to scale up, and when you've got the job kind of thing, the 9 to 5, you're limited by the hours you can work and how much your employer is going to willing to pay you, which can be a good thing if you're being paid enough, I guess. Mm-hmm. You just go to work, do the grind. But when you do that model, then you give up the geographical freedom.
Yes.
For the most part.
Although it is interesting, isn't it, right now, like the way the world's been the last couple of years, where they're allowing many companies have shifted or allowed the remote work. So if you have internet access and the right equipment, that some people have been able to actually capitalize on the geographical freedom.
Kind of.
Sort of.
They're just in another location. They're still slave to the task.
The task.
They haven't leveraged the automation of things because they've got to do what their boss is paying them to do. They're just doing it at a different spot, which could be nice,
But if they can also now do it from a beach instead of the bitter, bold north, that can be okay. Now, tell me this. I watched the thing yesterday from Gary Vee. And, a short little clip on Gary Vee, given his education, which I follow Gary Vee. He's a smart guy. And it was a, like a town hall kind of thing. So people were asking questions and one guy talked about passive income. Mm-hmm. And what is your take? In that phrase, do you believe there is passive income?
I do believe there's passive income. My definition of it might be different because some people think it's making money without having to do anything.
Okay.
That's more of when someone dies, they give it to you.
Yeah, inheritance.
But passive to me is, okay, I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I get a bunch of stuff on my phone done, and then I got the rest of the day. I'm going to do this little video with you, propagate it out to YouTube, and then I'm going to go for a walk up at the mall with my martial arts buddy.
Okay.
And it's possible that with all that stuff already done, I might get a little cha-ching kind of. I got one of those. Cha-ching.
Oh, I like it. That's a good
I
one.
might get one of those while I'm driving around, walking around.
Okay.
That's passive to me rather than the transactional type. You only get paid when you punch the clock, and you need to be doing stuff. You can't be sitting in the break room. You got to do stuff.
Yeah. I think, and he acknowledged that the individual, and because each person has maybe their own definition of that, right? To your point. And the person in the crowd, he was kind of like, tell me more. And, the guy basically just said, I don't want to work. I
know what you're talking about.
Right. I just want money coming in, basically. Right. And I don't have to worry about where it's coming from, kind of thing. But no, you have to do some things to create an income stream that may flow with a positive effect without you having to constantly work it. Right. So
You're familiar with Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. Yes,
I am. Yes.
So that's kind of what it is. It starts out where you're the employee working for someone.
Yeah.
Then you can break free from that and be self-employed, but now you still got to work doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get into the area of you have a company where you've got other people doing the work, but you still need to manage it.
Right.
And then there's the investor, like what I do with my real estate investment trusts. I just put the money in there. The real estate market does its thing, and then I get a dividend.
Yep.
So that's more the passive, but I still had to work to get the money to put it into the place so that it's doing it. But my money is working for me. And someone said something kind of profound, that some people want to earn enough money where they can go on vacation, but what they're actually doing is they're putting their money on vacation. They put it in a bank. It ain't doing nothing. It's just sitting there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their money is on vacation. It's not working for them.
Yeah.
You got to put your money into some kind of investment, or like we talk about mailbox power.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a good list that responds to whatever product or service you're promoting, and you put the money into some postage and send something out, then it's going to come back later. So you just got to that's what I like about mailbox power. I can design a card, and then I can set it to a list. I can schedule it, and it goes out whenever it wants to go out.
That's right. Yep.
But
on the affiliate side, or so the income side, right? And this person in the crowd, right? Gary really kind of just shot it down, like, hey, you own real estate and there's no longer a mortgage on it, right? It's got taxes, whatever, but that can create if you have a rental property, right? If you have things like that are generating income and you're not taking care of it every day, that can be passive. But more, it's really truly just, hey, I want to have some income streams and some things that are happening organically, right? That create a check or create a few nickels. But Gary's point was so solid for a guy that sells content, for a guy that sells opportunity. He basically was like, there's so many people more or less going broke for the promise of sitting on the beach and having this and that and buying this plan and this next best thing. No, you just have to work, and you have to get your money to work for you, right? Mm-hmm. You have to get to the point where it's spinning off enough without you even thinking about it, that can create a lifestyle for you. And that's,
or I think this could be looked at as passive income. Say, for example, and I saw a guy on TikTok, he had a kayak and he was out fishing.
Yeah.
And he had his TikTok camera hooked up. You could basically see his feet, and you could see where he casts or where he's pointing. So if you had that set up, and then you had it hooked up with an affiliate program for Cabela's or, Bassmasters or whatever, where they're selling trolling motors and boats, and you have all those affiliate programs. Yeah. You could have that sitting down by your feet so people can see the little domain,
Sure.
fishformoney.com. Now you can just go out and go fishing.
Yeah.
All you do. So that's kind of passive.
Yeah. If you get enough people following it, you're not doing anything different than what you were already doing, and it creates some type of followers or some type of revenue stream, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is such a fascinating thing. And there's not a lot of, businesses that necessarily, or industries that do that, right? So I could argue that in the insurance world, right? Because the majority of the commissions paid in my space is based on renewal business. It's people staying with you and you taking care of them, right? And giving them a reason to continue to do business with you. That can create a quote unquote residual income as long as they stay without you having to actively contact them every day or whatever. So there's that. But there's not a lot of businesses out there, normalized industries that do that.
Well, I think the manufacturing type thing where you have to have somebody actually doing stuff. But my brother, he works for a big steel company, and he just basically has to push some buttons to pick up the big I-beam and then push in this pattern. Then he sits back and watches the torch cut the steel.
Sure.
So that gets kind of passive, but he is still locked into his geographic space. He can't just leave. He's got to be there.
Yeah.
But I think that our school system kind of prepares. You're supposed to get to school at 8 o'clock, and you're done with your class, and you're slave to the clock, so to speak, going through all that school system. And it's setting people up for that. Okay, now I got a job. Same thing. I got to punch the clock. I got to be in my spot. And that's changed. And it's actually spiked because of the pandemic, because people didn't really think, okay, I can't really possibly work from remote. Well, now you are working from remote.
Right.
And being able to do it passively. So let me ask you this. For your business with insurance, how much, I mean, granted, you probably have office hours. Mm-hmm. What are they doing there?
I wonder every day. No. So yeah, we have regular office hours. We're here by 8, but our posted office hours are 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, evenings and weekends by appointment, right? Rarely do we have to have an appointment on the weekend. And not often is somebody saying, I can't make it work, either virtually via Zoom or something like that, or in person sometime between 8:30 and 5, right? So what happens all day among myself and my team members, right? Yeah. There is claims to follow up or to file, right? There is new business acquisition that's happening where people have decided to shop, or you have started the conversation. They decided to, give you an opportunity to quote them. So you have to complete the quotes, follow up on the quotes, run the reports. You have to make sure everything fits in the box that we sell, right? Does it qualify? I give an example. I met with a prospective client a couple of weeks ago that ultimately decided they wanted to do business with me. And part of which is our reputation, and part of which was our rate. And it actually came down to the wire. We wanted to get it all done by next Wednesday, and I go to complete it, and we had to run proper reports, find out that actually we don't have an eligible client because of a claim history. So now you have to have follow-up, and whether you're in the office or not, somebody has to take ownership of that and say, I'm actually sorry, we can't help you today. We can several months from now, right? Okay. There's people stopping in to make payments. There's processing payments. There is so many task-oriented things to follow up on. How somebody came in and they decided to raise their coverage, or they decrease coverage, or they add an endorsement, and you have to send the proper forms in electronically. And then you need to make sure you follow that, make sure it's done, completed properly from our internal people. So there's a lot to constantly do. But you could get wrapped up in busy work, or you could just stare at your screen for 2 hours sometimes and not do a thing, and nobody know the difference, So,
right, but you need to have yourself open in case someone wants to make a payment, or someone wants to come in and has a question. Yep. But you could also, like your staff, you could say, who wants to be a passive worker and who wants to be an active worker? Because the active workers got to stay here. The passive ones can go out on the boat, ride their bike, do their kayak, but they still got to get the job done.
Yeah. So I literally just Monday, we had a new person starting our team, right? So he's been in business sales for over 20 years, is totally comfortable speaking to people, and he is going to be an account development specialist. He's going to go out and talk to people. He's going to shake the trees. He's going to make some calls. He's going to do service work too, but the priority is to develop new accounts, to try to find new business and help our company grow, to offset the expense of another salary, right? Another person. So, there are some that absolutely cannot pick up a phone and call and dial out and say, hey, we'd like to quote your insurance. They'll answer the phone all day, and they will maybe even, hey, you want it home, but let's talk about your autos or life insurance or umbrella or whatever. They can cross sell, but the act of calling out is just not going to happen. Right. They even send an email to try to entice somebody, right? Hey, I'd like to quote your insurance. So there's those, and most agencies don't work well with that. You need them to be able to do all of it, because you still have to pay for them and their existence. Each person in an agency should be a profit center. They should not be an expense.
Well, it's an interesting point. I mean, we're a little off topic of the freedom thing, but it's fascinating to me because it's kind of like, what's more important, sales or marketing?
Yeah.
Both.
Both, right.
So what's more important, the guy that's out generating leads, shaking hands, having cocktails with friends, But
Or
he's bringing leads in,
yeah,
or is it the person that's actually doing the paperwork and doing the cross
right.
sells? And
And you need everybody. So if we've got
exactly.
somebody on our team that actually isn't out prospecting, but they're handling billing payments and questions and complicated things like that, or processing changes, that's still a profit center because they're freeing up time from somebody else on our team to do the prospecting and the proactive type of thing. So it does take all, if you ask me. But it's amazing the way the model has, because less people do just walk in. There's less brick and mortar storefront locations on Main Street needed to be successful. You can work online. There's virtual agencies in communities that we don't have proper representation with a physical building. There's agents that have dropped a pin on the map and said, "I own that. I'm gonna market that area even though I don't exist there," and they're gonna sell some insurance. So the business has evolved quite a bit, which is,
Interesting.
you have to be willing to accept some of that challenge and change, or it can be a really bad deal. You could kind of go no longer exist in the space. But yeah, it's a unique model. Like yesterday, we had leadership, the Hutchinson Leadership Institute, and I'm on the design team of that. And yesterday was a project day, and I was responsible for the speaker and some other things. So I was able to be out of the office all day yesterday without having to truly check in on anything. I didn't want to, and be gone. And yet everything kept moving, right? My clients were taken care of. We didn't, there were sales that were made in my absence because we employ the proper people. So that's good. So as a business owner in this space with employees, I would have the ability, if I wanted to not show up, to just employ people, to be the franchisee restaurant owner that never actually goes to the restaurant other than when they decide they're hungry or they want to check in on their team, right? I could do that, but I like the activity. I like the interaction with clients. I like seeing people. But at some point I could say, you know what, I'm going to stop in once a week. And as long as I employ people that can do the job well, it's okay. So I have the potential flexibility. I just don't take advantage of it right now because I have a brand new employee and I like working with my team. And I think I'm one of the few people that I have not had a day that I dreaded coming to work. I love my days off. I love a 3-day weekend. I love a 4-day weekend, but I don't despise what I do, which is very fortunate because there's a lot of people that do.
Well, that's kind of the Google or the Apple model too, where they just made the workplace fun,
Yeah. We have our office is a little unique. I think we do have fun. We take things very seriously about what we do with the power of the pen and the responsibility of providing proper coverage. So when there's a loss, we're able to deliver things like that. But yet we're not stuffy. You can walk in here and you're probably going to leave with a smile on your face and you've giggled a little bit because that's the kind of environment we have.
So
We have a
most of
reasonable
the
culture.
work is actually fulfillment and customer service, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
The actual on work. The
Yeah.
passive stuff could happen with a bunch of people out in the field doing stuff just to get that phone to ring.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you have to balance all that, right? So you have to make sure some letters are going out and some direct mails happening, and you have a social media presence, and that you have some ads running on Facebook and things like that to just have awareness, right? I can't run a sale. I can't put a coupon out there, but I want to make sure that we are one of the top 2 considerations when somebody is not thrilled with their current insurance plan, whether the rates went up, bad customer service, whatever. We want to make sure we are the next in line, and that we've positioned ourselves that way, right? And I think that's in any business. That's what you want to do. You want to be a consideration, and so be present, right, and be relevant at the time that they decide they want to buy.
Well, speaking of consideration, let's show them your domain, Better Appreciation. This goes to, for those that don't know, it goes to a platform that Bo and I both endorse and use called Mailbox Power. And if you want to connect with Bo on that, go to betterappreciation.com. And if you would like to connect with me, I've got one called Magic Marketing Tool. And I call it my magical marketing tool because of the ability to set it and forget it and step away and give you that freedom. It's magical.
Yeah.
And then I also want to give a shout out to our friends at Popped Corn. That's Sue over in Minnetonka and Dinkytown.
Right
and
on.
Mary Jo with Las Vegas Tonight Inc.com. And we got a comment that just came in here. Who is it? Look who it is.
Who is it?
Cindy Lee. She loves my mug.
Hey, Cindy. Hello, Cindy. I just had recently I had a memory pop up on Facebook, And it was, gosh, it's now been a year at least. But I was on the Cindy Lee show.
Isn't that fun seeing those? And you look back and go, wait a minute, wasn't that last week?
I know. And then Cindy sent me an awesome mug too. She's awesome. She is awesome. I know. She's on. I think she was taking the January off, if you will, which she has the ability to do that. But yet she's tuning in to see us, which is great.
Well, that's just it. We don't know if she's laying on the beach somewhere with her phone, just happens to chime in because it pinged. And
yeah, she was notified that you are live, which is, you're good at that.
that
Making sure
might
the
have
world
been it.
knows.
Or she's just such a fan that she tunes in at 9 o'clock.
Could be.
For us.
Yeah.
It could be too.
It could be. I think it's probably it. But it is interesting, this freedom concept. I think if nothing else, people need to just take a look at their current revenue situation, their current lifestyle, and say, would it be a good idea in today's kind of unstable times to have another source? I'll give an example. We had our networking referral group this morning, right? And I'm involved in a couple networking groups, Accelerate Global Connections being the other one, right? Mm-hmm. And NRG locally, our speaker today, Mr. Victor Garcia, he is a Victor's PC solution. So he does tech work, right? He can not only fix your screen on your iPhone, but he can make sure all your data is backed up. He can clear up virus stuff. He's excellent at what he does, right? But today he had a chance to present and he didn't talk about that. We all know that's what he does. And when he's done presentations, it's always great. But today he talked about a thing that he's also involved in, which happens to be, he's a distributor for Beamer. Do you know what the Beamer device is?
No.
Just check it out. Google Beamer, Bemer. And it is an incredible technology that promotes blood flow in your body to keep you healthier, to help you overcome certain nagging problems. And as far as he's concerned, it's been a lifesaver for people he knows, like literally save their life.
Sure.
But he talked about that because he's known about the company for the last few years. He's been a distributor for a couple, but he's not been active at all. And in the last month or two, he's seen some amazing results from people that have used this, that he's re-inspired, and he's going to continue talking about it. And it's a side income if somebody was to buy the device. And he's a reputable guy where you would say he is not going to talk to us about this unless he believes in it and it's a true product, because he doesn't want his reputation tarnished because he's trying to sell something just to make a buck, right? But it's a perfect example of how nobody else would know that Victor has this other potential revenue stream, or that he's involved in something else. But there's a lot of people out there that do have something. I don't know if it's Mary Kay, it's this, it's that. And the opportunities out there, we all see that. And usually that side hustle is something you're really pretty passionate about.
Well, people see me and they wonder, people have always said, Brad, what do you do? They've always said that. Other than when I'm a magician, they go, oh, you're a magician. Well, that's just one thing I do. I've got a lot of little things out there. So I've got multiple little things that are paying me, 3 cents here and $4 there and $30 here and $100 there. And it's just, I just got all that stuff out there.
Yeah.
I can't really say who I am, but I'm promoting Mailbox Power. I promote Aweber. I promote Bluehost. I got my real estate investment trusts.
Yeah. But you promote things that are valuable tools or that work, because you have a reputation, and you're not going to try to sell something just to make
tools that I'm using.
Right. And that's the difference. But that's what I respect. Everybody that has if it's oils, right? If it's doTERRA oils, or it's Herbalife, it's anybody that's passionate about that. It's so interesting, right? Like, I'm passionate about insurance. I am. I talk to anybody about it. I believe you need to have the right coverage. I'm passionate about life insurance. There's a lot of things that in my existing business, but a lot of people don't have that. They work on a line at a company, and
right.
they punch the clock. But their side hustle is what they love talking about it. And so you got to pull that out of them and find out what is it. And they wouldn't be talking about it unless it worked. And most people start with something they use themselves, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, I got a chance to make a few nickels in this. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I support it all day long.
Well, that's what I like about Mailbox Power. And I'll put my direct link up there if anybody wants to check it out too. Mailbox Power /Magic Brad.
Yeah. So example of that. Mailbox Power, I use that in my agency, and I recently sent greeting cards to some people thanking them for being awesome clients, right? There was no ulterior motive. It was just truly just to say thank you for being awesome.
But that's what I like about the Mailbox Power platform is it's applicable to whatever your side hustle thing might be. If you're really into teaching like children's gymnastics,
Yeah.
you can use Mailbox Power to send out the monthly newsletter.
Yeah. Yep. There's so many different like case studies, if you will. So Mailbox Power does that on a Monday. They'll usually take an industry or a certain sales rep and say, look, we're gonna talk about what you do and how you do it and how you can even do it better. And it's pretty neat. And I've been on a couple of those calls, right? But the what was I gonna say? So I had a client that received the card that happens to be in charge of more or less the customer experience at the business that she works with. Mm-hmm. And the last vendor they used to send out cards or to send out gifts or types of things disappointed them. So it became man, I just got another thing from you. And then you had sent my daughter something. And can we talk about this? Because it looks like it's just a phenomenal system. So by saying thank you, it turns into a conversation that might help that person in business. That's pretty cool. Right? I love that.
Another thing that I always like to do is I like to think outside the box or from a totally different perspective or point of view, that there are people that will go out and spend their own, they say they got a job, say they're a car salesman or insurance agent or whatever.
Job.
They got it. They got a job and they love their job.
Yeah.
They'll go to a place and buy a daytimer organizer. They'll spend a lot of money on it.
Sure.
Why wouldn't they spend money on something like Mailbox Power to use as a tool to seal that deal with those clients that you're trying to get to buy a car or buy insurance? An independent. Why wouldn't an independent use this tool? Yeah. They spend money on suits. They spend money on their cell phone. They spend money on everything else. Why not use this as a tool?
There's real power in gifting and those types of things, right? So, hey, here's what happened here in the last week or so. My RV was sold.
Yes.
Right? In the process of selling the RV, which became a trade-in to a sale, we traded one of our vehicles in addition. And there's reasons behind that, but we did that. And the salesman did a great job. The business owner at the dealership did a phenomenal job. It made it all go, right? And what'll be interesting, however, is that the recipient of a gift of saying thank you is going to be the salesman. Because I sent something saying thank you for making this happen. Took away a payment for me. Took away something that I wanted to make go away. You helped me do that. Mm-hmm. But yet, if you in most situations, you would reverse that and say the salesperson who just made a commission that I had to pay out of pocket is the one that realistically should be sending a thank you. But it's okay. I'm going to do this. The individual is going to get this thing and they're going to be like, oh my goodness, I should be doing this probably for my customers. Or why don't we do this here? All those things happen. And if it doesn't, it's okay because all I want to do is say thanks. And obviously, I want to be memorable. And this individual talks to people every day that need insurance on the vehicles they're going to pull off the lot. And if they don't have a good person locally or they don't have insurance, this individual is likely going to probably think of me first.
Sure.
Right? Hey, call them over there, man. They'll take care of you. Right? That's what it takes. That's a possible. And if not, it's okay. I don't do a thank you to have to get something back, but it's amazing how often it happens. Right?
I'm in total agreement, buddy.
Yeah, I like it. All right, we can go on all day.
Fascinating. I know we could. It's fun. We talk about this every single week. That's very cool.
Yeah.
So we've gone for 28 minutes. That's enough.
Long enough.
I'm going to put you in the green room. We've got some peanut butter and pretzels back there if you want.
Really? That's a change. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
See you, buddy.
Oh, we have fun every single week doing this. So I'm not going to take your time any longer, but if you want to know more about Mailbox Power, like I said, you can go to /Magic Brad. If you want to know about the Synergy Collaborative, there's that. If you want to know about me, you can just Google the keyword Magic Brad. We'll talk to you later. Peace, love, and happiness. Magic Brad signing off. Be good, be kind, be nice. Be nice, be nice, be nice.